Shishak or Shishak or Shishak is the biblical Hebrew form of the first ancient Egyptian name of a pharaoh mentioned in the Bible. He is usually identified with the historical pharaoh Shoshenq I. Biblical narrative. Shishak is best known for a campaign against the kingdom of Judah, recorded in the Hebrew Bible, and his supposed sacking of Jerusalem. According to these books of the Hebrew Bible, Shishak had provided refuge to Jeroboam during the later years of Solomon's reign, and upon Solomon's death, Jeroboam became king of the tribes in the north, which became the kingdom of Israel. In the 5th year of Rehoboam's reign, Shishak swept through the kingdom of Judah with a powerful army of 60,000 horsemen and 1,200 chariots, in support of his ally. According to 2 Chronicles chapter 12 verse 3, he was supported by the Lubim, the Sukkim, and the Cushites. Flavius Josephus in Antiquities of the Jews adds to this a contingent of 400,000 infantrymen. That number can be safely ignored as impossible on Egyptological grounds. Similarly, the numbers of chariots reported in 2 Chronicles is likely exaggerated by a factor 10. Leading 60,000 horses through the Sinai and Negev would have been logistically impossible, and no evidence of Egyptian cavalry exists from before the 27th dynasty. According to 2 Chronicles, when Shishak king of Egypt attacked Jerusalem, he carried off the treasures of the temple of the Lord and the treasures of the royal palace. He took everything, including the gold shields Solomon had made. 2 Chronicles chapter 12 verse 9. The Bible is not specific about the means by which Shishak acquired these treasures. They have traditionally been interpreted as a ransom from Rehoboam to secure peace. However, if Shishak is to be equated with the historical Shoshenq I, then this ransom is highly unlikely. Firstly, no united monarchy of Israel and Judah occurs in Shoshenq's list of conquered enemies. Second, the material culture of 10th century Jerusalem and surroundings was too primitive to allow for any treasure that an Egyptian pharaoh would have been interested in. Israel Finkelstein concludes that the looting narrative should probably be seen as a theological construct rather than as historical references. Shishak's name. Texts written in various ancient languages seem to indicate that the first vowel was both long and round, and the final vowel was short. For example, the name is written in the Hebrew Bible as IAQ. The variant readings in Hebrew, which are due to confusion between the letters less than greater than Yod and less than greater than Vav that are particularly common in the Masoretic text, indicate that the first vowel was long in pronunciation. The Septuagint uses sigma omicron upsilon sigma alpha kappa iota mu Suzakim, derived from the marginal reading UAQ of Hebrew. This indicates during the 2nd century BC Hebrew speakers or Alexandrian Greek speakers pronounced the name with an initial long close back-rounded vowel U. Shishak identified as Pharaoh Shoshenq I. In the very early years after the decipherment of Egyptian hieroglyphs, on chronological, historical, and linguistic grounds, nearly all Egyptologists identified Shishak with Shoshenq I. This position was maintained by most scholars ever since, and is still the majority position. The fact that Shoshenq I left behind explicit records of a campaign into Canaan, including a stela found at Megiddo, supports the traditional interpretation. Other identifications have been put forward which have been considered fringe theories. In his book Ages in Chaos, Emanuel Velikovsky identified him with Thutmose III. More recently, David Roll's New Chronology identified him with Ramesses II, and Peter James has identified him with Ramesses III. In popular culture, Shishak is mentioned in Steven Spielberg's action-adventure film Raiders of the Lost Ark in the dialogue Nero 01728. Indiana. The Hebrews put the broken pieces in the ark. When they settled in Canaan, they put it in the Temple of Solomon, Colonel Musgrove, in Jerusalem, Indiana, where it stayed for many years, until, whoosh, it's gone. Major Eaton. Where? Indiana. Nobody knows where or when. Marcus Brody. However, an Egyptian pharaoh, Shishak, invaded Jerusalem about 980 BC, and may have taken the ark to the city of Tarnis and hidden it in a secret chamber called the Well of Souls. About a year after the pharaoh returned to Egypt, the city of Tarnis was consumed by the desert in a year-long sandstorm.